Morning, all. We are here today to give you some information about Daughters of the King and to tell you about our upcoming Quiet Day on December the 4th. So let's begin this morning by introducing ourselves. We, that is Janie Curtis and Sally Meek and I, all three of us are members of the Daughters of the King. And we'd like to extend a general invitation to all women of the church to come and join our ABRA chapter of DOK. DOK is an order, as opposed to an organization of women, who voluntarily commit ourselves to a personal rule of life. The Order of the Daughters of the King, or DOK, or as it's affectionately sometimes known, DOC for short, is an international religious order for women who are communicants of the Episcopal Church, churches in communion with the Episcopal Church, and other churches who are in the historic episcopate. The order's purpose is to bring others into a living and loving relationship with Jesus and to help strengthen our own spiritual lives and the spiritual lives of Holy Trinity and all of our ministries and missions. The requirements for membership in the order are that a woman be a communicant in the Episcopal Church, be willing to participate in the preparation period, which extended a few weeks of study, and a vow to accept a rule of life. As Daughters of the King, we're women of faith who've made a commitment to serve Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. We wear our DOK crosses. I've got mine here, and I think Janie has hers on as well, as an outward and visible sign that we cannot live a day without Jesus in our lives. We see our order as a community of prayerful women seeking to serve Christ in all persons and proclaiming by word and example the good news of God in Christ. Empowered by the Holy Spirit, Daughters of the King pledge ourselves to act through prayer, service, and evangelism to spread God's kingdom in a broken world. We choose to follow a personal pattern of regular prayer, study, and devotions, which form our personal rule of life. We deepen our baptismal vows by becoming women of the order. As daughters, we make 4 promises that with God's help we'll keep for the rest of our lives. To obey the 2 rules of the order, which are rules of prayer and service. To offer at all times loyal aid to our clergy and parish to advance the cause of Christ. To wear habitually the cross of the order and to work for its purposes as God may give us the opportunity. The motto of our organization is, "For his sake, I am but one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. What I can do, I ought to do. What I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do. Lord, what will you have me do?" Right now, we are meeting online, and we meet the second Tuesday of the month, and all who are interested or think they might be interested are invited to attend. Just let one of us know that you'd like to attend, and we'll add you to our list of people who are sent the link to our meetings. And hopefully, sometime in the not too distant future, we're going to be able to meet in person again, which would be very nice. We only have one person who's studying right now to become a new member, although she's been attending service or club meetings now, or order meetings now for the last 2 years. So we're hopeful that we can get her installed coming up here in Epiphany. So we're working to that end. One of the things we're here today to do is to extend an invitation to one and all to attend a quiet day that we're going to be sponsoring on December 4th from 8:30 to noon. The quiet day is sponsored by the Daughters of the King, but the day is open to everyone, male and female, younger and older. This is an open invitation to please come and join us on December the 4th. Because in the past, Holy Trinity quiet days only seem to have been attended by members of the Daughters of the King, Father Heath and Father Jonathan have suggested that we use this Sunday school time to explain what quiet days are, what you might expect if you attend one, and what past quiet days have meant to some of us who have attended one or more such days in the past. So, definition, a quiet day. A quiet day is just that, a time to quiet the mind and focus on things spiritual. A quiet day can be held at any time during the calendar year. Most often, though, they're associated with Advent and Lent. In Lent, because it's a time of penitence and fasting in preparation for Holy Week and Easter. In Advent, which is fast approaching and will actually begin for us next Sunday, November the 28th, the church enters the season of waiting, preparing, and anticipating the coming of Jesus Christ. Not only the celebration of the birth of Jesus that we celebrate together on December 24th and 25th, but also the return of Jesus, which we as Christians long for and await. Advent is a time of preparation in the church. Of course it is. Just ask any member of the Altar Guild. We'd be glad to tell you what it all entails. But all of us, in one way or another, are preparing for our own Christmas celebrations with family and friends. As such, the month of December, or sometimes well before that, sometimes it now seems that we start preparing for Christmas about, September 1st, or at least by October 31st, if you look at the stores, all the direct decorations and sales that have already begun in earnest. But that month prior to Christmas is always very busy for all of us. And we might even say it's a frantic time. Most likely, we're already caught up in decorating, gift buying, party attending, and feast preparing activities, which can distract us from focusing on the true meaning of Christmas. That is why quiet days occur during Advent. On one day, for a few short hours, a quiet day offers us a chance to come together to slow our frantic pace and to focus on our Lord. At this point, I'm going to turn this over to Janie, and she can explain a little bit more about what to expect on a quiet day.
Usually, quiet days involve at least one speaker who delivers a message and offers some time for individual attendees to get away and meditate, pray, or journal about otherwise study the presentation topic. Sometimes quiet days involve an activity that all of us can do together, like drawing and coloring mandalas, or creating and praying an Episcopal rosary, to name just two. This year, our speaker will be Deacon Katie Gerber from Holy Trinity, Garland. She will ask us to think about and meditate on change in the church, as has occurred in the past 2 years, thanks to the pandemic, and provide us with biblical perspective. She plans to divide her presentation into 2 or 3 short meditations and then ask us to find a quiet place on the church campus where we can meditate on what she has presented. To that end, you might consider bringing a Bible with you or a journal you can write in. Personally, I like to bring a pen and pencil and a piece of paper, at least, to take notes in case I wish to. I don't always end up using them, but it's nice to know I have them in case I want them. So, all 3 of us today have had past experience with quiet days, and maybe Sally would like to tell us her experiences.
We can't hear her. I don't know how.
Sally?
There she is. Is. Okay. We're not very experienced at using this machine, so you'll have to give us a little slack.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Still can't hear you.
Oh.
Are you mute, Sally?
It says that Zoe muted me.
Invite guests.
Can you hear me now?
I don't understand how this works.
Do you know sign language, Sally?
No.
I don't understand this. Let's see what this is saying. Well, this isn't very good. They can hear Sally. Okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much.
The quiet days are powerful, and it's a way for the DOK daughters to get together and to offer things to the larger church.
Is there a way to?
I'm
afraid to
I
touch
think
anything.
it's very worthwhile.
Well, I'm glad other people can hear Sally. We can't hear Sally because I'm not familiar enough with this program to see where it is that I turn her on. I could get her on the screen, but I can't hear her. So anyway, thank you, Sally. We've all three of us have had past experiences with quiet days, and just to name a few, I mean, a few years ago down at the Stanton Center while I was a student, we were putting on a quiet day every year. And we would do things like assign, for example, an I am phrase from John to one of the students who would then prepare a short talk to present at the quiet day, and then allow the students or whoever else wanted to attend the quiet day to just walk away apart from where we were doing the actual speaking, to just sit and meditate or pray or write in the journals. I know I used the time to go into the library at the Stanton Center and do a little bit of research on the topic on my own, because I'm just that way. I like to study stuff. But that's obviously not the intent. The intent is just to give us a chance to unwind. One year we had the wife of a former rector here come in and give us a talk about how to do a rosary, how to make one. She provided little kits for each of us so that we could make a rosary. And then she taught us to use it, taught us the prayers to use, taught us some things to do. And it's just been really a wonderful way to continue prayer life.
Yeah, I found that very helpful, and it's something I've used going forward from that. It's very much fun. And because I like to color, I thought making mandalas was great fun, because we colored in all these beautiful mandalas. And while we were coloring, we were meditating on the ideas presented by the presentation that day. It was, I don't know, it was really a great way to meditate for me. I like coloring.
Yeah, quiet days in general are offered at a variety of churches around the area. The Daughters of the King is based upon the same kind of structuring as the Episcopal Church. That is, we have a diocesan group, and then there is a provincial group, and then the nationwide group. And so all of those will have times at assembly where we can get together with other daughters from other parts of our diocese or our province, or the world for that matter, to get together to hear different messages that will be presented by the various attendees, or to come together to have communion together. For example, the Daughters of the King here in the Diocese of Texas here, in Diocese of Dallas, that is, excuse me, we have 2 assemblies every year, one in the spring and one in the fall. And those assemblies are open to everyone. Everyone's encouraged to attend. We can't always make everyone, but it's really a really great way to get to know other people in our diocese, other women in our diocese. And it's also another opportunity, usually for some kind of a quiet day that's put in the assembly. We usually have communion together, that is Eucharist together, and generally speaking, the bishop will come and be our presenter and our celebrant for that Eucharist. And then we break off and have a little quiet day type meeting. And that's where I think we colored the mandalas, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so.
At one of the assemblies.
Yeah.
One time we did scrapbooking. The order, the chapter that had the particular quiet day had put, I don't know, tons of magazines in a separate room. And we were asked to go in and just kind of look through and pick out some things we'd like to talk about our Christian journey. And we were encouraged to make a poster on poster board. They gave us the poster board and the glue, of course. And we just cut out pictures and put them and made our own personal prayer life collage, which was great fun, but it was also an opportunity to think about what prayer means to us and how important it is. Our quiet days are encouraging continuing prayer, which is one of the rules of life, one of the parts of the rules of life for all daughters. We are encouraged to pray. In fact, you want to talk about how we do that with the list?
We have a list of people in our own parish who need prayers. we only have their first names, and we only have a general thing like, are they ill? Are they grieving? And we pray for them every day. This is something we all take on, and it's part of our rule of life. And it's a wonderful way to keep in touch, even though you're the only one who knows about it. Keep in touch with all the members of our parish. And it's very, very meaningful, I think, to all of us. But the main thing about this quiet day is going to be just that, a quiet day. There are no activities planned. We're just going to listen to a speaker, tell us about something that's vital to all of us, I think, what's happening in our church through this pandemic and afterwards, and then just have some time to think about, to meditate on, to pray about the various ideas presented. And I think that's what we all need at this time of year. As Zoe said, it's a frantic time of year. We need some time to quiet our minds, quiet our hearts, and think about Jesus, who's coming very soon.
Very soon is right. Well, another thing that the daughters do on a regular basis is that each month, one of us takes a list of names from our parish, people who are shut-ins, people who are sick, and we send cards. Just a little remembrance from the daughters to these individuals to say, we're thinking about you. You are not, you might be out of sight, but you're not out of mind. We are praying for you on a regular basis, and we just want you to know that we're here for you if you'd like to talk to one of us. And to that end, folks, please, if you know of somebody who would like to have a card sent, we have a number of shut-ins here in our congregation, but this kind of thing is also open for our families and close friends. So please, as members of the congregation, keep that in mind. Let us know if you know of somebody who would benefit from getting a card at a time in their life that they're down for whatever reason, for illness or for grieving or loss of a job, birth of a new baby. I mean, there are all kinds of things that may just need a little bit of extra care. And so we would like to present that extra care to those individuals on behalf of Holy Trinity by the Lake. So, Sally?
In case you missed the beginning
which
of
is-
this, Zoe offered to all women of the church an invitation to come and belong to Daughters of the King Opera Chapter. I think we get so busy sometimes that we forget to invite people, but we would love for all the women of the church to be a part of our community and our family. Also, for the Christmas season, we are collecting pajamas for women and for children, for women in need. So as you're doing your Christmas shopping, you might look for some pajamas for kids, Christmas pajamas, and for women. And we'll get information out on how we're collecting those.
Well, since I'm not a lip reader, I have no idea what Sally has just said.
But thank you, Sally.
But whatever she said, we're really happy for her presence here.
And we're glad you all can hear her, even if we can't.
Yes, Father Jonathan tried to give me a short course in how to use this studio, and he neglected to tell me that there was a special way to turn on the sound for the other people who are part of this. I think Father Heath was going to join us too, but we can see his little on the side of our screen here. We can see his little office, but he's not in it, so I assume he's not wanting to say anything at this time. The pajama drive. Thank you, Betty Tunks, for letting us know about that. As a matter of fact, I have put the first box in the entranceway into the administration wing, and I will put another box in the narthex so that people who would like to bring pajamas for young children for women in need, please do so. We would encourage you to do that, and we would be very thankful if you would do that for us as well.
I've brought the first 2 pairs, so come join me and get brand new pajamas for these children who really need them and will be thrilled to have them on Christmas morning.
I can see from our little chat over here that Marcia Frederick is with us, and so is Alyssa Plett and the Tunks. And we're very happy that you're here. Please forgive our inability to get all this together. I think Father Jonathan decided he was going to be out of town, so this would be a good opportunity for him to fill the Sunday school space, and we're delighted to do that. I just wish we could hear the other people. Let's see, how do we... There's Father Keith.
I'm right here.
We can't hear you either, but hopefully everybody else can.
Y'all can, everybody else can hear me? Okay, good. Okay.
We can see you very well now, and you're on the screen with all of us, but for whatever reason, and I can't figure out how to turn the sound on.
Look at the buttons on the keyboard. Do you see where it says plus and minus, and it looks like a little speaker?
They can only.
Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear Father Keith. Again, we can't, but
Oh, okay. Hold on.
maybe he knows how to fix it.
Father Keith to the rescue.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, just another encouragement to come join us for our quiet day. And here's Father Keith.
See, we've got everybody, but I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Did that?
it is.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. Can't hear me, huh?
No,
Or
can't hear
Sally.
Sally either. And there must be some button that I push, but I'm afraid to.
Well, it's
I'm
usually
afraid
this
to-
one that lights up. But that makes you not hear, right?
Yeah.
That makes you hear. But
Wait a minute. Now, can somebody say something?
Sally, say something.
I'm here.
Nope.
Can you hear
Can't
me?
hear online. That is.
I just don't
Odd.
know. I mean,
Aren't you guys glad we're
I
not
don't know what
bringing
that
you?
is.
That's a camera.
Oh, maybe. Oh,
What have I done?
now can you hear us? Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Stop.
that
I
has to
wonder-
be red.
Well, that's the volume for that. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll leave this open so you can hear me.
Okay.
But, or do you want me just to join you guys?
Why don't you just do that?
How about that?
I
Let's
think
just-
that
I'm
would
gonna
be
join you
wonderful.
guys.
Here, have this chair. I'll get that one.
Let's put you.
We'll just go back to old school and just be in the same studio at the same time.
It makes good sense to do that. And I apologize to everyone that we, for whatever reason, this computer that I've been given does not allow me to figure out.
It's okay. I don't need
Can you
that
get
much
in?
room.
Can you get
I'm
in?
not that fat.
Okay. No, I just want to be sure you get on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's back in his office again.
Okay. Now, if you want to hear, I wonder if Sally, can you say something?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Go ahead and shut that computer off.
Okay. If I do, well, you mean. You're fine. There you go.
Okay, there we
Now-
go.
Now you're on.
All right. How about that, everybody? Now you can hear us and we can
Yay.
hear you.
Okay, Sally, say something.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yay.
Yay.
Janie's not in the picture
Oh,
here.
well, Janie's
Oh.
close enough.
Come on.
I'll just be cozy.
There you just lean in a
This is
little.
the Three Stooges show this morning, and we're so anyway. Well, I'm glad y'all are all here. Any questions for me or for Zoe or Janie
Or Sally?
or
Or
Sally?
Well, Father Keith, how does DOK enhance the things that you're doing at the church?
Oh, yeah, in so many different ways. The DOK, or Daughters of the King, is such an incredible organization. And they are an extension of my ministry, of what's going on here. And so they have, when they do certain outreach, if they take care of things in the service itself. They also get people involved in different ways, from like Altar Guild. Sometimes they join Daughters of the King and then find out about different ministries that are in the church, and that's a big help. And I've had people tell me, "Yeah, I'm in Daughters of the King, and I heard about this," and so that's been a big help. Of course, coming to the Daughters of the King, they've never said no. If I need help on something, they've always been there immediately. And so, and I don't even have to ask very much, because they're so involved in doing things that, it's already done, for me.
And that is part of our mission, is to be an asset to the priest.
Absolutely. And always has been. And so it's an incredible organization. And, again, we are in announcements today, making sure I get it exactly right. I want to make sure I put a plug in for Daughters of the King for Quiet Day, that it's sponsored by Daughters of the King, but it's for the entire congregation. And this is something I think has been confused a little bit in the past, that the Daughters of the King are sponsoring something for the entire church to be involved in. So we want to make sure we get that message out to everybody, that this is a Holy Trinity Quiet Day for Advent, sponsored by the Daughters of the King, and so are hosted.
And there'll be kind of a continental breakfast at the beginning
Yes, there
of the
will.
Quiet Day, in case that
At,
appeals to
at
anybody.
8:30, at 8:30, we will gather and we will have something to eat. I understand that certain people are bringing sweet rolls and fruit, and we'll have coffee available. And after all, you can't have an Episcopal gathering without food. I mean, come on.
I thought Jonathan was doing a full breakfast buffet and he was serving it. That's what you get, Jonathan, for not being here.
Yes,
And we have another question about where the box is for PJ.
yeah, I
drop-off.
see that. We do have a question. Yes, we are going to have 2 boxes. I've already put the one in the entranceway to the administration building, and I have another one in my car that I will place today in the narthex for purposes of the pajamas. The only thing that I neglected to do is to make a sign that said these are for pajamas, but there is a big sign on the box that says DOK. So until I get a sheet typed up that says this is for pajamas for the women in need.
And there will be pajamas in the box, so you can look and see. There are so many cute pajamas for little kids nowadays. They're just darling.
Well, Women in Need really has become a ministry for the Daughters of the King, because it's an organization for women, and we are an order of women. It was something that we decided to adopt, and we have done some pretty good things over the course of the year. In fact, for a while, we were also sponsoring a group that took Christmas cake and Christmas cards to people in prison, women in prison. That, unfortunately, that particular program has been shut down for some reason, maybe because
Probably
of the pandemic.
Yeah, it was.
But we were having two big birthday cakes made with a Christmas theme, and then we would take blank cards for the people to send cards and stamps for their families if they wanted to send Christmas cards or greetings to their families, season's greetings. Women in Need, in the past, we have done some things for the women. Women in Need provides shelter for abused women and their children. And to that end, Women in Need collects clothing from people, that is, clothing that people have used and are willing to give them. But one of the things we decided as order of the Daughters of the King was that you don't want to use somebody else's used underwear or used pajamas. And so in the past, we have done Mother's Day drives for underwear for the women themselves, for the adults. And last year we had a sock drive for children. And we ended up with 2 huge garbage bags full of socks in different sizes for boys and girls, which was just wonderful. The people at Women in Need were very, very pleased with that donation.
Very thrilled.
And we can't say thank you enough to the members of our congregation for participating in all those drives, because you all have been so generous in the outpouring of love for
Always.
all of the
Always.
ministries of this church, and we just really appreciate it. On all of our outreach, it's just been wonderful, really amazing that such a small congregation can do so much, and we really appreciate it.
Well,
And so did the women that we help.
That's right.
it's always been the almost number one outreach for me. It's Women in Need. I've done this since Buda when I was down there with the groups, and it is like I said, you're talking about some of the bravest women to go and lead, because that's not easy just to get up and walk out of everything, and especially when you have children and you're fearful of that. And so I believe that if we're going to encourage women or even men in an abusive relationship to actually leave that relationship, then we as Christians, as the hands and feet of Christ, need to be there to support that person through the process so they never feel alone. And so Holy Trinity has been a big supporter of Women in Need. Matter of fact, we just donated 30 baskets of food, our Thanksgiving dinners for 30 of the ladies and their children here in Rockwall.
That's wonderful.
And so we did that last week. And so again,
Thank you.
we are always here. Even their education building, our room now to help educate about this is the Holy Trinity room because of the help they gave us.
Really?
That honor. Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
gave us that
nice.
honor last year, and because of COVID, we didn't get to go see it. And I need to go take a picture of it and send everybody at the church. So, but it gives education on proper behavior and you know and what is abuse and what, you know, and so because talking to people in the past, a lot of times people are confused by, you know, is it abuse? Am I making this up? They start thinking of themselves as the person that may be losing it, and the truth is they're not. It's not in their mind. It's reality. And the other piece of is, well, he or she will change. You know, maybe tomorrow it'll be better. And that's unfortunately a big lie, unless that person is going to go and get serious help themselves. People aren't going to change you know, like that.
So true. The Women in Need provides a shelter, an actual house shelter for these folks who have left their homes. That particular part of the ministry is not made public, of course, so that the women are protected. But we do have a Women in Need facility here that collects clothing and new clothing and used clothing and, of course, money. They also have a little shop called My Sister's Closet, where they sell some of the clothing to raise money to support the ministry as a whole. But that is here locally, and you can go and visit that facility and take it clothing anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Take it, or even go and shop there.
That's right,
Actually, they
yeah.
have really nice stuff there. I mean, people put very nice stuff in there. And so for Christmas, looking for Christmas gifts and stuff, I mean, go over there. I say the same thing with Helping Hands. Go to their store and, you know, believe it or not, it's not all junk. There are some very nice donations that are given to them.
Particularly, ladies, if you're a smaller size, because I've shopped over there at Women in Need and in this My Sister's Closet, and I wish I could fit into some of the little outfits that they have. They're beautiful. They're beautiful clothing. They do have some purses and shoes and jewelry as well. But if you're looking for something other than clothing, though, then you need to go to Helping Hands, because they have everything.
Yeah, they really do. And we forget about that a lot. But if we're buying things for people, there's vintage, you know, things that are there. You can really pick up some great stuff. And you're supporting a great organization. Women in Need, by the way, has talked to me because they are looking at making. They want to have a few more houses in which somebody comes out of the shelter into a home they have a job, and they're starting to get them kind of prepared to then finally go to their own life somewhere. And so it's something I'm very interested in, and seeing how we can help in the years to come for that.
Well, the daughters are active in all of that. I had mentioned the cakes. I had forgotten the name of the organization, but the organization that provided the cakes and so forth for the Christmas parties for the women in jail was called Women Set Free. And for whatever reason, like I said, the pandemic, I suppose, that they really have cut back on that kind of thing. But hopefully in the future, we'll be able to do that again.
Yeah.
But one aspect of Daughters of the King, too, is that we are, again, not an organization, not an association, we're an order. And as such, we do not raise money. We don't have drives to raise money. So what little money that we have in our treasury is given by the individual members as part of their service to the church. And then, of course, we have some funds that we collect for on a regular basis that go to the national group. And that national group, the National Order of the Daughters of the King, provides scholarships, for example, for women who are going to go into the ministry or some religious type occupation. It also provides, another of the funds provides money from missionaries abroad. And let me speak to the abroad situation for just a minute, because we have a triennial meeting for the whole national Daughters of the King, and that's going to be coming up in June. It's going to be in Baltimore. I went to the last 3 years. Of course, it's been more than 3 years this time because of the pandemic, but generally speaking, it's every 3 years, and it's held usually the week before the General Convention for the Episcopal Church. But the triennial meeting brings in daughters from all over the United States, but it also brings in the international daughters. And it was really surprising to me to see how really vital the daughters are in, especially the South American countries and African countries. They're growing by leaps and bounds, and they're providing that kind of missionary outreach in their own local cultures. And, to some extent, depend on some help from our group, but the way they're growing, they're certainly outpacing us in terms of the number of women who are dedicating their lives to a rule of life, to serving Jesus and Jesus's world, the hurting, broken world.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
We don't seem to have any. We appreciate all of you out there who are listening to us. And again, my apologies for not knowing how to get this right. Apparently, I didn't ask the right answer, or I asked the right questions the other day.
I think I figured it out what the problem is, but it's not your fault. So it's like just one of those things. It's okay.
I'm just not smart enough to figure out.
No, that's not what it is at all.
I'm not a techie person.
So anyway, but we miss Jonathan. He's out with his family this weekend, enjoying his family. So we hope that they are safe and out there. We really hope that everybody has a safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, please be very, very careful. Also, just remember that if you you can support Daughters of the King. They don't have fundraisers. However, if somebody throws a check or something in and puts in Daughters of the King, it will go there. And so, we'll make sure of that. But they do an incredible job. With almost no budget.
Well, that's part of the good thing, right?
It's really relying on God, and it's amazing the things that they are really doing when you do rely on God. And it is amazing when you take away a lot of things, and that's who you have to rely on. And we're very proud. I'm very proud of the Daughters of the King. And you do just a great job. If you're not a member of Daughters of the King, I highly encourage you to be so, or to do so, because it really is an incredible organization, and the prayers and being with God. And I really encourage the quiet day.
Yes, please join us. We just really would love to have as many people as would like to come. And again, it's open to everyone. It's not just for the members of the Daughters of the King. It's for the entire congregation. And this time we're going to have some visitors from Good Shepherd and Terrell. I've already been told that several people are going to be attending.
And possibly some from Greenville, too.
And
Wow.
also Garland, because after all, Deacon Katie Gerber is from Garland, and she also is with, she in fact is their clergy person for their Daughters of the King group. So I'm sure she'll bring some of the folks with her as well. So I'm hoping we're going to have a really good turnout to welcome Katie.
But we really want all of you,
That's
men,
right.
women, teenagers, come and take just a couple of hours out of the frantic pace of this time of the year and be with our Lord. It'll
Yeah.
do us all good.
And it's amazing the impression that you have after you've been to a quiet day. I mean, I look for them now because I really look forward to having that opportunity, either here at this church or with some other daughters group somewhere in the diocese, to just take some time to just pray and be focusing on my own spiritual life. It doesn't seem like I have that much time to do that on my own. So it's nice to set aside that time for that particular purpose, and especially during Advent when things are so crazy anyway.
I was going to say it's one of the reasons in Advent why we have our theme and why we have to constantly remind the world, the secular world, to slow down, because it is the craziest time of year. It's also the most stressful time of year. There's more depression in this time because of that, trying to dictate or to listen to the world and be dictated to of all the things you have to buy. Is everything equal to all the kids? Is it and or did I get the right gift or is it the wrong gift? Will this person like it and not like it? And that's really sad when we know what Christmas is truly about. And so Advent is a good way to prepare our minds so that we enjoy Christmas Day even more. Of what it's about.
And we do try each Advent and each Lent to have a quiet day available for members of our congregation, because we feel that it's so important. And it's a time to just really focus on our own spiritual growth, which during Lent is just as difficult as it is during Advent. Getting ready for the spring vacations, vacations from school, and getting ready for Holy Week and Easter, all of the preparation that goes into that here at the church. It's an opportunity for all of us who are involved anyway to get away and spend some time with Jesus, which we all need.
I don't understand why God made these special holidays during the most busy time of the year, but He did.
Yeah, well, that's the way it
God
goes.
probably has a reason.
It's like, come on, God, you don't know that Christmas is a really busy time of the year, and what about Easter and all that spring?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Well, guys, thank y'all very much. Are y'all done? Or
I
I'm
think
sorry.
we're finished. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go
Just
get ready
come
for.
join us for a quiet day.
Thank you for
Yeah.
hanging in there with us. We certainly appreciate your patience.
Blessings to all of y'all. Take care.